Hello students, a new dawn, a new beginning, a new session. This is SD Sir again from the Temple of Excellence, very true to its name, Temple of Excellence, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysore. I will be taking the last session today on the chapter electrostatic potential and capacitance. What is that we do in today's session? As I told in my previous class, parallel plate capacitor. I derive an expression for the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. And as a last bookwork, very important, I derive an expression for energy stored in a capacitor. Now, before I jump to today's session, we will slightly recall things we did in the previous session. Combination of capacitors. The series combination. When do you say two capacitors are connected in series? First condition, they should store the same amount of charges. Second condition, total potential is the sum of individual potential. And what was equivalent or effective capacitance? A single capacitor which will store the same amount of charges under the same potential as the given combination. And finally, for series combination, equivalent capacitance CS was equal to C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. And we stop discussing the parallel combination. The first condition for parallel combination, potential across each capacitor should remain the same, and total charge should be the sum of the individual charges. And effective capacitance Cp was equal to C1 plus C2. So very clearly I concluded saying, if I need to decrease the capacitance of a combination, connect the capacitors in series. If I need to increase the capacitance, connect the capacitors in parallel. With this, we start discussing something called as parallel plate capacitor. Evident 5-mark question in the exam. Parallel plate capacitor. What do we do in this bookwork? Simple. I will derive an expression for the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Hagidre, what actually is a parallel plate capacitor? Yenu parallel plate capacitor andre? My dear students, when I described a capacitor, I told it has two conducting metal plates. Nano capacitor ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ? ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಎರಡು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನ ನೋಡಿ, ಅನಲೈಸ್ ದಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. The two metal plates are parallel to each other. They are charged parallel metal plates. Since the two metal plates are parallel here, the capacitor is called a parallel plate capacitor. Sometimes the two conducting plates may be spherical in shape, exactly like this. This is the first conducting plate, which may store positive charges. The second plate, which may store negative charges. This is called a spherical capacitor. ಇದನ್ನ ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ spherical capacitor ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? The two conducting plates are spherical in nature. If the two plates are cylindrical in nature, ಎರಡು ಮೆಟಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಸಿಲಿಂಡ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ನ ಸಿಲಿಂಡ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಮೈ ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ is a parallel plate capacitor. The two conducting metal plates are parallel to each other. So which is the first metal plate? A. Which is the second metal plate? B. And they are separated by a very, very small distance, what I call as D. ಯಾವುದು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? It is A. Which is the second metal plate? That is B. They are separated by a very small distance, what I call as D. And these two metal plates are parallel to each other. Hence, they are parallel plate capacitor. Now, friends, what is the charge stored on the plate A? Plus. Therefore, plus sigma. Sigma ನೇನ್ ಕರೆದ್ವಿ? Surface density of charges. Plus sigma denotes the surface density of charges where? On the plate A. The plate B stores negative charges. So minus sigma denotes the surface density of charges on the plate B. And I say both the plates have an area A. A is the area of each plate. So my consideration is very simple. What type of capacitor I have considered? Parallel plate capacitor. The distance between the two conducting plates is very, very small. Plus sigma, surface density of charges on the plate A, and minus sigma, surface density of charges on the plate B. Now, you can see here E. It is the electric field in between the two plates, starting from the positive plate, ending towards the negative. Therefore, the whole show here begins with mathematical calculation of the strength of this electric field. Because if the electric field breaks down, there is no more insulating medium, no more dielectric medium, no more capacitor. So I have to calculate this electric field in order to get the capacitance of the capacitor. So how do I calculate this electric field? ಗಮನಿಸಿ, ಇಡೀ ಡೆರಿವೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. Now I consider that the distance, very clearly you can see here, the distance between the plates is very small compared to their linear dimension. Linear dimension ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? thickness ಅಂತ ಕರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Meaning to say, the thickness of the plates is negligible. See, compared to their linear dimension, the distance of separation between the two plates is negligible when compared to their thickness. ಆ ಎರಡು ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ಗಳ ಥಿಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಕರೆದ್ವಿ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೆಗ್ಲಿಜಿಬಲ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನೆಗ್ಲಿಜಿಬಲ್ compared to their thickness, which means to say the two plates are placed very close to each other. These two conducting plates are placed very, very close to each other. I repeat, in order to calculate, what are we calculating? The electric field between the two plates. So what consideration I have made? I have decided that the distance of separation, the distance between the two plates is very, very small compared to their thickness. So what happens? Here, each plate is therefore treated as infinite plane sheets. Since the distance is very, very small, what do I consider? Each plate as infinite plane sheets. Why am I doing so? For the simple reason, I have applied my Gauss law and calculated electric field in case of a thin plane sheet. So I have considered each plate as a thin plane sheet. That's all we are doing here, students. So ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ electric field na calculate ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ? I have considered the distance between the two plates to be very, very small. Since the distance is very, very small, each plate is considered as an infinite thin plane sheet. So since it is a plane sheet, I very well use Gauss law to calculate the electric field. Therefore, I assume E1 is the electric field due to the plate A, and E2 is the electric field due to the plate B, and total electric field therefore is E1 plus E2. Now, what is this E1? Electric field due to the plate A, which is considered as a thin plane sheet. And Gauss law told, if it is a thin plane sheet, electric field is sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. I have derived this. When I applied Gauss law to a thin plane sheet, the electric field was sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. What is E2? Again, electric field due to the sheet B, again thin plane sheet, which is sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. So please know the significance of Gauss law. It's widely applied. It has lots of applications. Here for thin plane sheet, sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. So this becomes equal to 2 times sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. Finally, the electric field becomes sigma divided by epsilon naught. So have I calculated the electric field between the two plates? What is that equal to? E equals sigma divided by epsilon naught. Now, how do I consider the charge distribution over the plates of the capacitor? Or I put my words in terms, how do I calculate charge distribution on the surface of the capacitor? There comes the concept of surface density of charges. We told sigma, surface density equals Q divided by A. What is Q? Total charge. What is A? Area of each plate. So we know sigma is nothing but Q divided by A. Do I have a sigma in the expression for electric field? Yes, substitute. So this sigma becomes Q divided by A. ಈ Q divided by A sigma ಆಗತ್ತೆ epsilon naught. So I have expressed electric field with respect to surface density of charges. I repeat, I have calculated the electric field between the two plates as sigma divided by epsilon naught. And we also know surface density of charges is total charge divided by total area. So on substitution for sigma, E equals sigma divided by A epsilon naught. Now, what is that we are trying to derive expression for capacitance? My basic definition for capacitance is Q divided by V. ಮೊದಲನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕಲ್ತ್ವಿ. Capacitance is nothing but Q divided by V. What was V? Potential. Now I need to calculate this potential. Andre, I know the electric field. Somewhere can I relate it to electric potential? Yes, again we have derived E equals minus dV by dx. This minus has no mathematical meaning. It simply means that electric field is negative of electric potential. Therefore, taking the magnitude, E equals V divided by D. dV by dx ಬರುದ್ವಿ. Potential divided by dx, distance. So E equals V divided by D, or V equals E into D. Now what do I do? I know what is E. In the first step, I have calculated electric field. So this electric field is nothing but Q divided by A into epsilon naught. D remains. So this is what is giving me potential, which I call as equation 2. So just to go back, In my first expression, I have calculated the electric field between the two plates. What was that expression? Q divided by A epsilon naught. What is the entire aim? I have to calculate the capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor. And my basic definition for capacitance says C equals Q divided by V. Electric field kandidukonde. So my only objective now is to calculate the potential. Anywhere can I relate field and potential? Very much yes. E equals minus dV by dx. dV is the potential. dx is the distance, which was d. Therefore, E equals V divided by d, taking the magnitude. So what is V here? E into d. E electric field gotto. So substituting for E, Q divided by A epsilon naught into d. Now I know what is Q, I know what is V. Substitute for capacitance, which is Q divided by V. That is Q divided by V reciprocal. A epsilon naught goes to the numerator. It is something like this. Q divided by V is Q into D divided by A epsilon naught. This A epsilon naught goes to the numerator. QD is in the denominator. Q gets cancelled. So capacitance is epsilon naught A divided by D. CA ant bardidini. What is CA? Capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor when A is the dielectric medium. When the medium between the two plates, insulating medium and karadvalva, if it is filled with air, the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor is epsilon naught A divided by D. What is epsilon naught? Permittivity of free space. A, area of each plate. D, distance between the plates. Now, I fill the space between the plates with a material medium. Thin paper or silver paper or hakidre. Now there is a dielectric constant. So the capacitance becomes epsilon naught, epsilon R, A divided by D. Now see, there is an epsilon R. What was epsilon R? Dielectric constant of the medium. So this is the expression for the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Now analyzing these consequences, again a very favorable question in the exam for 2 marks. Again 2020 physics paper, this is asked. How do you increase the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor? Now with a dielectric medium we told capacitance is epsilon naught, epsilon R, A divided by D. Using this expression, I have to bring out methods, get methods to increase the capacitance of a PP capacitor. The first point says, increase the area of the metal plates. Surely yes. If you see this expression, capacitance is directly proportional to the area of the plates. So you increase the area of the metal plates, naturally capacitance increases. Decrease the area, capacitance decreases by this factor. So if I have to increase the capacitance, I have to increase the area of the metal plates. Or it also says decrease the distance between the two metal plates. So here capacitance is inversely proportional to distance. Very clear. Bring the two plates close enough. Capacitance increases. Why? Distance has reduced. So I can increase the capacitance by decreasing the distance, or introduce a material medium of high dielectric constant. So C is also proportional to epsilon R. If the dielectric constant is high, capacitance increases. So these are the three ways of increasing the capacitance of a capacitor, parallel plate capacitor. Which are those? Increasing the area of the metal plates, decreasing the distance between the plates, and introducing a medium of high dielectric constant. Now students, as a last part of discussion in this chapter, I will derive an expression for the energy stored in a capacitor. When we do electromagnetic induction, there I derive an expression for energy stored in an inductor, which will be exactly the same. Here it is energy stored in a capacitor. Now I will consider a capacitor of capacitance C, which is initially uncharged. Please to listen to this statement. There is a capacitor of capacitance C. One capacitor takondidini, adara capacitance na C anta karedidini, and it is initially uncharged. Initially uncharged andrenu? To begin with, there are no charges stored in the capacitor. Sumne a capacitor na one source, one battery connect madidini, but I have not switched on the source. So initially, to begin with, the capacitor is uncharged. When I say uncharged, the number of charges stored in the capacitor is 0. Now, my whole aim of a capacitor is to store charges. How do I store charges? To store charges, andre, to make the charges flow in the circuit, I need a driving force. Some force has to push the charges, has to drive the charges, and that is called potential. How do I apply that potential? How do I give the charges the driving force? Switch on the battery. Potential is created. It will kick the charges in this circuit. So, the potential difference applied to charge the capacitor. How will I calculate? Go back to the basic definition of capacitance. C equals Q divided by V, or the potential required to drive the charges is V equals Q divided by C. So very clear. Initially, the capacitor was uncharged. To begin with, it did not store any charges. Now I have switched on the battery. I have a driving force. I am kicking the charges. So the capacitor is storing charges now. That potential applied is equal to Q divided by C. Now, my dear students, doing so, by creating that potential, by giving that driving force, I have done some work to displace the charge through an infinite small distance. Please do keep this word in mind. Infinitesimally small distance. Andre, now the charges are stored on one plate of the capacitor. I have to move the charge to the other plate through a very small distance. Infinitesimally small distance. Very, very small distance. A charge na one plate of the capacitor in the ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದ್ರ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅತಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ಫೈನೈಟೆಸಿಮಲಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. What should happen for this? Some work has to be done. How do I calculate that work? Evidently, force into displacement. So the work done to move the charge through a small distance is nothing but force into displacement. Now I call this work done as dW. Again, a very small amount of work. Why small amount of work? The charges are displaced through a small distance. So work done is small, dW. Observe here. Force I have called as V, potential. Why? Because it is the potential which is driving the charges, which is pushing the charges, which is the driving force. Force is V, but very interestingly, displacement I call as dQ. How is it possible? Displacement is dQ. Please do know, if it is an infinite small distance, very, very small distance, the displacement is treated to be equal to the amount of charges displayed. I repeat, if you are moving any quantity through a very small distance, the so-called infinitely small distance, the displacement is always treated to be the magnitude of the quantity displaced. ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿನ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, then the displacement is nothing but the magnitude of that quantity displaced. Since I am displacing the charges here, it is dQ. So work done dW, driving force potential, displacement dQ. So substituting for V, dW is Q divided by C into dQ. So what is this dW? Work done to move a small quantity of charge from one plate to another, and therefore the total work done to charge the capacitor to a maximum value. Initially charges were 0, initial, final some maximum Q. So how will I do that? To calculate the total work done to charge the capacitor from a minimum value to a maximum value, I am integrating equation 1 between the limits 0 and capital Q. Lower limit is 0. Why? Initially when I started, there were no charges. Upper limit is capital Q, which is the maximum charge stored. So equation 1 is integrated between the limits 0 and Q. What is integral dW? Total work done W. I told all constants have to be taken outside the integration symbol. Q, is it constant? No. With time, number of charges stored is changing. So Q is not a constant. Is capacitance a constant? Yes. The capacitance of the capacitor is C. So this 1 by C is taken out. Why? Because capacitance is constant. Integral Q dQ. So, what is the value of integral Q dQ? This is, again you remember the formula x to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. So, Q power is 1, 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1, Q square by, so integral of Q square, Q dQ is nothing but Q square divided by 2. Lower limit is 0, upper limit is Q. Now even this 2 I am taking out. So 1 divided by 2C. How do I apply limits? I have told in the previous derivation, it has to be upper limit minus lower limit. So instead of the small q, this 2 is already taken out. What remains? Small q. Instead of that, first I substitute capital Q. Q square minus 0. Or W is 1 by 2C Q square. I repeat, integral dW. W, constants outside the integration symbol. 1 by C integral Q dQ. Using my standard formula, integral Q dQ is Q square by 2. Lower limit is 0. Upper limit is Q. This 2 is a scalar I take out. How do I apply limits? Upper limit minus lower limit. So instead of small q, capital Q minus 0. Or 1 by 2C Q square. Now, substituting for Q, from where did I get that? Capacitance is Q by V, or Q is C into V. So 1 by 2C Q square into brackets le. C square V square. One C and C gets cancelled. So W equals half CV square. So what is work done? Or what is the W? It is the work done to charge the capacitor to a maximum value. And this work done is stored as the potential energy of the capacitor. Whatever work you are doing to store charges, configurative energy, energy due to the configuration of the system, work done is stored as potential energy of the capacitor. So this W is now treated to be U, potential energy, and this is half CV square. So this is a very simple derivation. Hope you have followed today's session. Dear students, simplicity is the biggest factor for any success. After Newton discovers gravitation, one of his friends will ask him, "You have discovered such a big factor on earth. How do you feel?" Newton says, "I have discovered a pebble on the seashore. The entire sea in front of me has to be discovered." Simplicity nodi. Newton gravitation kotmelinu, he's so simple. Yen heltane, samudra ತೀರದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದ pebble and discover ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. ಇಡೀ ಸಮುದ್ರ ಇನ್ನು ನನ್ನ ಮುಂದೆ ಇದೆ. My dear students, be simple. But That simplicity means the amount of hard work you are putting. You have to put sufficient hard work which will yield success. Practice, practice, and practice. The next session, very interesting, I'll come up with the master chapter, electric current. Until then, enjoy, work hard, stay safe. Thank you.